Future Jam.
All right, welcome to the Future Jam. This is going to be a quick one. This is a all tech Bytes episode and some dumb tech of the week. As usual, I'm joined by Alex.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Alex.
What's up, buddy? How's it going?
Our technical difficulties at the beginning of this episode.
We don't talk about that. This is a tech podcast. We're perfect in every way.
That is true. I was called the most perfect man in the world.
By like Time magazine, or
it was odd. So Time, People, Entertainment Weekly, Oprah, all came together and voted me the most perfect man.
I didn't know there was a thing called the perfect man, and I don't know the difference between Time magazine and People magazine. I always get them confused.
How do you get those confused? Like one's like does like stories and all, and the other one's like this celebrity's doing this.
I just always assumed they're the same magazine. I don't know. I didn't know the difference.
You know the different names, right?
Yeah, I know they're different names. But, Time always has the person of the year. I don't know.
Well, they have the person of the year, sexiest man of the year.
Or is that People that have the sexiest man of the year?
Oh, it does People have the sexiest man of the year.
See, it's confusing. Even you are getting confused. I'm telling you, this branding is terrible.
I think People has the sexiest man of the year.
I don't know. I honestly don't think it matters because nobody reads magazines anymore anyways, unless they're checking out at a grocery store.
That's a lie. We all know you get your Cosmo and you do your quiz each month.
Yeah, I do have my teen. I don't even know what the Teen Vogue. I don't know any teen magazines, honestly. But anyways, let's just get into this is dumb. Let's get into the dumb tech of the week. So first off is Amazon. We like to paint them as the villain, and sometimes they are. But they're forcing their delivery drivers to sign a biometric consent form to drive a vehicle.
Yeah, so they've installed cameras in a lot of their cars, 4 cameras.
I didn't even know about that. I must have missed that news story, but yeah, they're like 4 cameras that can see all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, it's like AI powered. You can access the driver's location, their movement, and then collect like biometric data, facial recognitions, and things like that.
We've been talking about that a lot, the facial stuff.
Yeah, so like they can see like if they're yawning and if they're distracted, and really there's like the ability to watch drivers at all time. But they're making them sign this contract, but they're saying it's caused for like safety reasons, because since they started doing it, accidents are down like 48%.
That's how they always justify stuff like this, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all about safety. But so if you don't sign this contract allowing them to do it, you can't work for them. No, the thing with Amazon now is they're independent contractors. So Amazon wants to control these employees like they're in-house employees, but Amazon doesn't want to pay them and give them benefits and all, but they want them to have these contracts. That was like the big thing when Amazon started their driving thing. They gave these employees money to start up a Amazon route, but really they don't offer healthcare or any benefits whatsoever because you're an independent contractor.
Yeah, I actually looked into it because they're saying you could get in with a low startup cost of like 10 grand or 20 grand, and they'd give you like vehicles and like help you get started off your feet. And then I looked into it further. I'm like, no, basically you're just all the legal like ramifications of a lot of things from Amazon. So you're reliant on like you're paying your employees and their healthcare and all that stuff. And so like you're basically just doing this stuff that Amazon doesn't want to do.
Yeah, and they still want to control it and have this image, because there's like 800 different like Amazon companies that like drivers for Amazon, and there's like 75,000 drivers. And there's been reports of like employees getting in car accidents because they're delivering so much and all, and like Amazon pulled the plug on a couple of them. But like Amazon, like they promise it's like 2-hour shipping a lot of times now,
Yeah,
same day, and like they're forcing these drivers like to hit these markers.
Crazy numbers, yeah. I feel like they're getting fatigued, and that's probably why they're crashing their vehicles. Also, they're having to find places to pee and go poop. Like they said, they complained about people pooping in bags in their vehicles. which I found was funny. Well, they should maybe just install toilets in these things, maybe.
Yeah. Well, this is what you get when you have like with the type of like the type of system that they want. You want independent contractors that deliver your packages at a
Hmm.
reasonable time. This is what you get.
Well, I also feel like they want automated robots to do this, and they're like, well, let's see if humans can do the same thing that a robot can do. And humans need breaks, and they treat people like a machine, not like a human, I feel like.
Well, yeah, that's all. They're all about the numbers, and we're going to talk about like a robot that can move boxes later. But Amazon, you can definitely tell like they eventually just want to automate everything.
Yeah, a lot of automation. Let's jump into the next one, and I think Volkswagen is like one of the most popular brands or biggest brands in the world. I think it's number 2 in automaker size. It's pretty large.
Right.
It's a lot larger than I thought, at least. But they had a kind of a legal issue, like was it 3 or 4 years ago, where they were faking their data as far as
Their emission data, like for the diesel cars and all, and they had to pay like huge fines.
yeah, and part of their retribution was they had to invest heavily in electric vehicles and install a bunch of like charging stations and such. But they announced the wing in America is getting renamed to Volkswagen of America, like Volt, like electricity Volt. Sounds like a marketing stunt, but I don't know.
Yeah, it seems like a marketing stunt. Some people say it might be an April Fool's joke. I don't know yet. They said there was supposed to be an announcement coming at the end of April, but it got published early. So, like, in the pictures, it has a lighter blue VW logo. And I don't know, I can see them wanting to do this, like, as I guess like a marketing campaign. I don't think the new company would be called Volkswagen of America, like that new brand, because that's stupid.
Funny thing is, GM changed their logo, made it like a charger plug and all that. So all these brands are trying to like show that they're taking electric vehicles serious. And I already thought it was Volkswagen anyways. Like I pronounced it wrong my whole life. I never said Volkswagen.
Mm.
So if they would have just changed the spelling, and I probably would have never noticed.
Yeah, I don't think I would have noticed either, because I don't know, I'm just not into their cars. I know a couple of people that have them. I'm just not a fan, so I really don't care what they do.
And I usually call them VW anyways. That's the logo they have here anyways.
Yeah, that would be like if I think they rebranded, that's what they would go by.
Yeah, just shorten it.
Yeah. But
But
they're supposed to have 300 EV models by 2030 is what
yeah,
they're
they're
aiming
going
for.
heavy into electric vehicles, like
You
heavy.
see it, everybody's doing it now. But like, you're gonna have to wait till people catch up with the times.
It's a big gamble. Like they see Tesla selling a bunch of these vehicles, and all the other automakers assume that people are going to do the same for them. I don't believe that's going to be the case. I
I
don't see people flocking to all these other electric cars.
I always said 2050 was my guess.
Yeah, that
Uh,
might be closer to reality. Like, if this doesn't pan out, like, I feel like these companies are really trying to push it hard now. If this doesn't pan out early, they might just start retracting like their push and say, well, it's not really, people aren't really buying into this yet.
how old's your car?
Mine's 2014, so mine's 7 years at this point.
Yeah, so if you think about it, my wife's car, I think is a 2012, 2013. Like you think about it, we've had this car for 8 years now. Plan on having it for longer. Like and they're like, oh, all these cars are coming, but like people don't buy cars that often.
Yeah, they don't.
And like you're gonna have to wait. And people are like buying cars now. I don't plan to buy a new car hopefully in the next 5 or 6 years.
Well, say this: at least frugal people don't buy cars that often. But I feel like I live near neighbors who change out their cars like every 2 or 3 years. Like they just constantly trade in their vehicle. Like people trade in their phones every year.
Yeah, which I don't get because, like, I don't know. I like my car. I have my air groove in it. I know everything is.
Yeah.
Like, I like driving my car, and I want it to last as long as possible. I don't want to pay for a new car. Like, we bought a car last year. We were looking at minivans. And then we decided to get a Nissan Sentra just because we could pay it off and not have to take a car loan or
Yeah.
pay
And the
anything.
only reason why I would buy another car is if my needs changed, I needed a different type of car, or if it just suddenly became super unreliable.
But like also like America, if this is like the big push, America needs to catch up with charging stations.
And I actually have a story brewing for an episode down the road, but I want to talk about like the charging station fiasco in this country, because it's a big debacle, I think, right now.
It's not there. Like the infrastructure for these aren't there.
Well, I mean, it is and it isn't. We'll get into it in that story in a further on episode. But
So we're getting into it now, Mike.
no, never.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's jump on to the Razer. Razer is a company that makes like super bright like gaming accessories, like mice, keyboards. Everything they make lights up, like RGB lights, red, green, blue, and it's just in your face. And they showed off earlier this year. They showed off a prototype mask for COVID, and they decided to actually make this thing.
Yeah, Project Hazel is coming out. So it's a mask where you can see through it, so you can see somebody's mouth. It has a built-in microphone and speaker. It's effective as the N95 mask. It has an airtight seal. So I think they're trying to be like the next level of masks, but it depends on if people are still wanting to wear masks. Still gambling that masks are going to stay around for a while. I think they might. When people are like sick, they decide to wear a mask, and like maybe you have like one nice mask that you wear.
But who's gonna want a mask that has like RGB lighting on it and a microphone in it, so you have like a speaker? You're gonna be like Bane from Batman Returns or whatever it's called.
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, thank you.
He's in Batman Returns, right?
Dark Knight Rises.
No, yeah,
he's in Batman Returns as well, but that's like the old Bane that didn't have the weird like voice.
Yeah, but he still had like that neon light toxic.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't know anybody who'd want to actually wear this. And then also like you can see the person's mouth. Like the whole thing about a mask is like you have no clue who's behind there, so everybody's sexier. Like everybody out there is like 100 times sexier than they were before.
I do think because of the pandemic, I have been hornier when I'm out in public. So I think you're onto something, Mike.
Yeah, everybody looks 10 times better with a mask on. And then, like, as soon as we go back to a maskless society, we're going to realize, man, America needs like a official plastic surgeon.
I don't think that. I think, well, everybody who listens to the Future Jam is beautiful.
In every way, especially with their masks on.
Inside and out. So,
but you ready to jump into the news bites? We have a handful, and we're gonna stick to the 2-minute limit. I wish we had like that horn.
What horn is that?
The air horn thing. The air horn sound effect.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my timer ready.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Tech News Bites.
All right, let's jump right into it. First story is Dyson is launching a expensive vacuum cleaner. That's a shocker.
Yeah, all the vacuums are expensive.
I added this because I knew you're a big Dyson fan. I'm not a huge fan, but I added it for you.
I am a Dyson man. I love my Dyson vacuum. So the Dyson V15 Detect vacuum.
I think they want you to call it V15.
What did I say? V15?
Yeah.
Oh, they should have put it V15 and voted out instead of 15. I blame you, Dyson. They claim the vacuums pick up 99.99% of dust, but in case it misses some dust, it's going to have a green laser that points down at a 1.5 degree angle and shows you the 0.3 dust that you miss.
They said green lasers are easier for your eye to catch to see. So I guess the dust is revealed by the laser line.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah. It's just who the hell cares?
No, I don't. Also, it has a sensor on it with like a little LCD screen on the handle, so you can see like how much dust is left. It'll kind of, I guess
Yeah,
it
and it
has
gives
like a
you
sensor on it.
yeah, it has like 70. It can sense like 15,000 pieces of dust.
You know, this
Like,
sounds like we should have put it in Dumb Tech of the Week, honestly.
well, like some of the stuff's cool. Like the one vacuum can like lay flat so you can get all the way on the couch and then move it side to side. Like that stuff I'm for. And I love the Dyson ball. I thought that was good. But this is just like now you're just trying too hard.
I guess they have to justify their existence to, because like a lot of the cheaper vacuums, I think, are gotten a lot better.
Yeah, they've really gotten better, Shark and all. I feel like Dyson did like make them up their game.
Yeah, so I feel like I have a Shark, and I feel like it's just as good as my parents' Dyson.
All right,
But,
next
yeah,
topic, Mike.
Let's jump into the next one. And Samsung will use drone deliveries for Galaxy products. Only in Ireland for now, and only in one small city. It's like in the middle of nowhere, Oranmore.
Yeah, yeah. So though this company I've never heard of, and it's an Irish company, Drone Delivery. And it seems like they do a decent amount of deliveries in this small town. But all like the newer Galaxy products are going to be able to be shipped via drone within 3 minutes in this town.
I think it's a cool. I think what they're doing is they're using these out there cities to test out like how drones will work and how useful it is and how much it saves money. All that.
And like also like if I don't know how like big Samsung is in this town, but like I kind of want to try it out. Like I'll buy it. Like when I get my new phone.
I buy $1,000 phone just to try out a drone delivery.
Yeah, well, like if you're in you're in the market for a new phone, because Samsung makes a good phone. The Galaxy line is a good product.
Oh yeah, I stand behind them 100%.
I stand them by them 110%.
I know.
So like I mean I might try it just to see what it's like.
Well, you could buy headphones. Like, so you don't have to buy a pair like nice phone. You could just get a pair of headphones and get it delivered within 3 minutes.
And they're like tablets. It's all like the new Samsung line of products that they're only using it for.
I think it's a cool marketing technique, and I would give it a whirl. I personally, we've been talking about this, and this might be even further out than electric cars like being popular. So this might not be big until like after 2050, honestly.
Yeah, I think nationwide or worldwide it would be a lot later. I just think there's so many so much red tape we have to go through for drone deliveries.
Yeah, I agree. Let's jump to the next one, and this is Intel invests $20 billion in 2 Arizona factories. They're going to be making 7-nanometer chips in 2023.
Yeah, so there's not really much to the story besides that. And Intel is kind of on the way down.
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of got out of like making their own chips and not really being the powerhouse that they once were. Like, because everybody used to use Intel and they still kind of do, but you're seeing issues with supply chains and other companies, especially in China, are getting better.
Yeah.
So this is like really Intel reinvesting in what made Intel Intel. And
yeah,
like
they've switched their CEOs out a bunch of times recently as well. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th CEO within like 5 years, I feel like.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of these companies, when they get like a new CEO, like they want to rebrand and like they forget what made them great.
Yeah.
And like this is what Intel is, like your core processing company.
Well, they're getting big competition from all sides now. Like they are getting competition from AMD. Apple's making their own chip now. Plus they have the company that makes chips for Android phones, Snapdragon. So they're getting like competition from all over, and they had to already like, I think they shut down their mobile chip plants like a couple years ago. So they're trying to like restructure and like you said, redirect their money towards something that is actually sustainable for them.
Yeah, I think this is them getting back to their roots and reinvesting in, because like the companies that they're working with for these chips are like Google, Amazon, like the big companies, and even they said they're willing to work with Apple in the future too. I think
they're trying to like lure them in. I think they're going to say, "Hey, this is our process, and would you let us make your chips for you?" type thing.
Yeah, if they can even if they're not designing the chips, getting the third-party chips for.
So it
Apple
almost sounds like they're being like a chip factory for other people's chips in a way as well. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, I think time's up on that one. This next story I found really interesting because I always thought this should be a thing. But Google is testing out a way to make Wi-Fi better than Bluetooth. And like back in the day when you were like hanging out with a friend and they had a Game Boy and you had a Game Boy, there was not a really good way to connect to each other.
the
And then
link
also
cable.
there's a link cable. That's a cable. But like you remember the PlayStation Portable
Yeah,
had Wi-Fi on it, but you had to both be connected to a Wi-Fi router. Same goes for like the Vita and all the other game consoles. Say you're at school, like if you don't have access to the school's internet, you can't connect your two systems together. So the idea behind this is it lets two Wi-Fi devices connect together without having a Wi-Fi network.
yeah, it's pretty interesting. So like, they're saying one person would be like the publisher who would kind of run it, and then other people, more than one. It could be, I guess, depends on how powerful it is. Uh, like subscribers. So like, you can have a classroom, the teacher's the publisher, and then when the kids come in, they can subscribe and they can send stuff to like a tablet or things like that. So really, it's like this kind of does seem like the future, like where you can just connect, like you can listen to music together and play video games together. Um, it kind of reminds me of what Amazon's trying to do with like their Amazon Sidewalk that we talked about, where like you can connect your devices, but that's just like kind of pointless. It's just for like Amazon products.
Yeah, and
But
it's low powered. This is like actually high powered Wi-Fi signal. So yeah, I think this has a lot of possibility. I always thought they all devices have Wi-Fi on them already, so why not let them connect together?
yeah, and I think the big thing will be security is what
Yeah,
people
maybe
will be
that's.
worried about.
You think that's what kept them from doing it? Is the security issues, anyways, or?
Next time that could have been a longer topic, but let's keep moving.
So this next one I really was excited about as well, and this is the air taxis we were talking about. Like a lot of companies are really trying unique ways to make an air taxi, and this one company called Talyn has a very very unique design, and it's kind of like a two-stage design, kind of like a rocket almost. Like there's a rocket that gets you to space, and then it detaches, and then the ship keeps going. So it's kind of playing off that idea.
Yeah, so as you know, like these electronic vehicles, if you don't know, a lot of them they have the vertical takeoff. So they have 4 propellers usually, or 2 that lifts it straight up, and then a lot of them like kind of move, so it would fly forward. This what it does is just releases the plane, and it's just kind of like a plane after that. So it's interesting. I feel like this one, because they say it can go like 300 miles, would be like the best chance for like long range.
Yeah.
And like when it goes to land, another one, it will reattach to one. So like I imagine that like you could, like they say you don't need airports, but you have like a small hub where like you come in and like it would pick it up, like take it off and then connect to the other one.
Yeah, so it's
When it
basically
lands.
kind of like a transformer almost, where the top piece lands on top of the airplane, and like it's like a helicopter that lands, attaches itself to the top of the airplane, and lowers it down to the ground without a runway, or like
Yeah.
lifts it up off the ground without a runway as well, and then detaches and it flies like an airplane. So it's an awesome idea. And like you said, it gets rid of all the moving parts of like having to rotate the engines or have them just be their dead weight. So it gets rid of a lot of these issues that other designs have.
Yeah, and I think you could probably get more distance out of these than the other ones.
Yeah, 300 miles is a decent distance, and like like the article says, that's where most people want to travel is like just a short distance.
What
And
it kind of reminds me of is when in like I want to say the new like this Star Wars trilogy with Phantom Menace in them, and when they go in this hyperspace, and they connect to like that circle thing, and then they go. Kind of reminds me of that.
I don't remember that at all.
I just rewatched them.
I don't remember. Star Wars is just like goes in and out my brain for some reason. But let's jump into the next one. You added this story, and this is our favorite company. Well, I mean, we like talking about them. They make Spot the robot and all that, but Boston Dynamics actually unveils a useful robot for once, not just like a cute one, and it's called Stretch.
Yeah, so it's a box moving robot. So it kind of just has like a square base, and then it has an arm that can move up to 800 boxes an hour.
That's a lot of boxes.
I think it like uses like suction cups, and it just lifts up the top of the box or the side, and you can pull them out, and it can lift up to 50 pounds.
Yeah, I think they've been testing this for a while because I remember seeing prototypes of this like 3-4 years ago, and it wasn't fast enough to keep up with the human back then. But they said that this new iteration is about on par with what a human could move in an hour. Is that correct? Or
Yes, that's what they said. Like most humans can move like 800 cases an hour.
That's a lot of boxes.
Yeah, the big thing about this one is because we've all seen like robots with like the mechanical arm that can move, but they're bolted to the floor. This one is mobile, so that's like what is, yeah, it's kind of separating them from the pack. I did find it interesting. They said 80% of warehouses around the world do not have any automation at all because they don't trust robots. And this would be a game changer, especially like they said the robot's kind of slow right now, but if they could speed it up, I can see like
rolling around, it's kind of slow. It's like moving from pallet to pallet.
Yeah, I can see like if you were taking boxes off a shelf and just loading a pallet and just use one of these.
Yeah.
It has like an 8-hour charge.
I could see some industries using this, but I feel like it probably wouldn't work too well at like a Best Buy where I used to work because a lot of the products were different sizes and you'd have to like stack it in a particular way. So I don't know. I feel like it'll work for some industries, but not all.
Yeah, check out the video on the link in the show notes. It's cool to watch.
Yeah, check out the eVTOL video as well, the flying taxi. It's cool, unique concept. So final story for the Tech News Bytes is, why is Microsoft wanting to buy Discord? And this could have been a larger topic as well, but I don't think a lot of people even know what Discord is still.
No, it's big in the podcast world with a lot of Patreons. So you can set it up with your fans. Podcasters can interact with their fans.
Yeah, I think the reason why Microsoft wants to buy it is because it has like a lot of like users use it that are into it, like a lot of aficionados or whatever. I don't know what you would call it. But
it has 140 million active users.
Yeah, a lot of dedicated people are using it, and like they're very passionate about Discord. The people who use it are very passionate about it, and I think a lot of communities live on Discord. Like there's like a bunch of different chat rooms they can have. And I think you can also do like a live chat room, like a video chat room as well to hang out, or a calling room. So there's a lot of like interesting uses for it. I used it for a while, but I just got tired of keeping up with like the incessant messages that keep piling in. I just got too many notifications and stuff. So I just don't like the medium in general, but I guess it's really popular with the younger crowd.
Yeah, that's a sign that the future Jan will not be getting a Discord. No, but it's like because like Microsoft is looking to buy this, and I guess Microsoft tried to buy TikTok. They tried to buy Pinterest. They're looking to expand their like community feel. Yeah, like they had Minecraft and all. Like they want people to be using Microsoft products, and this is a good way like for them to interact with fans. And
also, I feel like this is a big gamer centric group grouping as well. So they might even build functionality into Xbox itself for Discord, which a lot of people have been calling for a long, long time. I think a lot of people were hoping Sony would do that with the PlayStation 5. It makes sense for Microsoft to do this, but it has a lot of like questionable stuff on there as well. I feel like so if Microsoft bought it, they'd have to clean it up, and some people might leave. Honestly, they probably change the terms of service.
Probably, always do.
All right, you want to jump into our tech RIPs real quick?
Yep.
You're excited.
Sad. It's.
I know you always get super sad about this part.
I feel like I should sing underneath while you're talking.
So yeah.
And no.
This goes out to all the people who used to dial out on their telephones from home, or who still dial out on their telephone from their cell phone. I don't know if a lot of people do that anymore, but
I do.
You're gonna have to start dialing the area code now, Alex.
Yeah, I thought I've always done it ever since like in like the early 2000s when we had to update to area codes.
Oh, so you've always had to dial area codes?
Yeah, especially here because I still have a Philadelphia number.
Okay.
So like I always like anytime I'm around here, I always dial the area code 513. What are you saying? Like, what's the retired tech?
They're
here,
retiring regular 7-digit numbers. They're getting rid of it. You're not going to be able to dial a 7-digit number anymore at all. So the death of easy calling.
Yeah. Which in like and it's for a good cause. So 988 is the suicide line. So if you have like suicide thoughts or anything like that, you're supposed to just be able to dial 988. So you can get in touch with somebody directly. But like people still have numbers that start 988, so they needed to do something. So a lot of places already have their area codes they have to use. I did see they have a list in the link that we'll post if your area has to start using that area code.
And Cincinnati made it, and Covington made it. So yeah, basically 859, 513, we all have to use it.
I just thought people were using it in general. I always did.
I wonder how many people are going to be pissed when their phone doesn't, like when they dial out, because when you save it in your contacts, you don't always dial in the area code as the contact. So I wonder how many people are going to lose their contact because of that.
I always did. I think it's because when I first got my like phone, I didn't get a phone until I was going to college. And like everybody I knew, like met in college, were from different areas of the country. So you just always had to put in their area code. So even when I ask for somebody's number now, I still ask for the area code.
I guess in this area I did because we live so close to Cincinnati, and Cincinnati has the 513. So it would make sense around here as well. But I didn't really know a lot of people that had 513 area code, so I just always dialed the 7 digits growing up. Next RIP, and we'll just do a moment of silence for this one. Microsoft is changing its file explorer icons for it's been forever since they've ever updated these, and I'm pretty sure the last time they decided to try to update the recycle bin icon, there was like an uproar, like people freaked out, like we love our recycle bin icon, and Microsoft's just like forget about it. We're upgrading all the icons.
Yeah, people get like really like sensitive about this stuff. It's like anytime something updates, this takes you like a day or two to get used to it. It's like, and like the updates are like slightly updated. It's nothing too big.
It changes the basically the angle of the recycle bin.
Yeah.
So instead of it being straight on, it's like at an angle. But I do remember when they tried to change it last time, and people were mad. Now I don't know why. I guess, like you said, people love their classic icons. But Microsoft's like one of the oldest looking operating systems still anyways. Like it just looks outdated. So anything they can do to update it to stay competitive.
What was the big flop? Was that Windows XP?
No, XP was a popular one. It was Windows
5?
Windows 8. Windows 8 was their big flop.
Yeah, that was like the one that was just like awful. And I feel like they updated it super quick after that.
Yeah, they went almost immediately to Windows 10, I feel. People did not like Windows 8 at all. And I think they went on a thing where every other edition was terrible because a lot of people didn't like Windows Vista either.
I think that was the one I was thinking of. That was like the bad one. Yeah, because XP was around for a while.
Yeah, people loved XP and people loved Windows 7, but Windows Vista and Windows 8, no, people did not like.
Well, I think it's good when they do like those, because it seems like every two they do like an overhaul to like the system and changes a lot, and like the next one is still kind of the same as the newer system, but you're still like slightly used to it now, so you
Yeah.
don't flip out as much.
Yeah, they haven't. I feel like we've been stuck in Windows 10 for a while now, and I don't know if that'll change anytime soon.
I think my work just updated it to Windows 10.
Well, I mean, it probably won't go anywhere for a while now, so you'll be stuck there for a good deal. Final tech RAP of the week: T-Mobile is killing TVision or TV TVision.
TVision. Yeah,
TVision.
TVision.
Thank you. Terrible name. In favor of YouTube TV. Who didn't see this coming like a mile away because they just announced this last year.
Yeah, and I think like part of the press release is like we learned so much about TV services. I think it's kind of the same thing Google did with Stadia, where like they got in this because they thought it was going to be easy, and like, F this is too hard. We're just gonna stop doing it. So now they're just using YouTube TV starting April 29th.
Yeah, there's just too much competition out there. I don't know why they thought this would be a thing. And a lot of companies have stopped like streaming like television. Like remember Sony used to do it with PlayStation TV?
Yeah, did they stop PlayStation TV?
Yeah, they killed that last year.
Yeah.
Or like a year and a half or 2 years ago. No, they killed it 2 years ago. But yeah, it's just not a easy market to be in, I don't think. It's just too much competition.
Yeah. And you're
So
seeing, and I think like YouTube and Hulu will really like, yeah, they'll be like backed by something else that's so they can still do it.
yeah, YouTube TV, I keep hearing from a lot of people that that's like probably one of the best streaming television services right now.
And that struggled in the beginning.
Yeah, it did, but I guess people like the layout. That's what I always hear is like people like the way it's laid out and just how it works. I think that's what really counts the most. Like people will stick around if it's easy to use and functional.
No, I was gonna say like I like Pluto TV, but like do like search and all, it's like the worst thing known to man. Like you're lucky it's free. That's probably why the search feature is terrible.
This whole thing is confusing. T-Mobile just don't even offer video to your customers. They can pick their own video out,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
They can just find their own service. It's not like you have to have T-Mobile to use YouTube TV. I guess they want to be able to bill something to their account, and I guess you can bill it to your phone.
They wanted to get in the game of having a subscription service on your phone, so you're on your phone more often and using that.
Now, if they give free YouTube TV, that would be awesome. I would think about switching over to T-Mobile because with AT&T they do free HBO for a lot of their for a lot of their line services.
Apple does free Apple TV.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe just this one's just killing me. I'm done with this story.
That's fine.
I don't know. Did you want to do the follow up real quick?
Yeah, we have a quick follow up. The Biden administration targets 30 gigawatt offshore wind turbines by 2030. So these were like those giant wind turbines where like they can actually take a picture of the whole thing that are in the ocean. They're just massive. And said to bring power to like 10 million homes.
Will he even be alive by 2030? That's the question. I know that's harsh, but
Yeah,
our presidents are getting older and older every time we elect one. So
yeah, but it's exciting. I guess they have like a decarbonization for the power grid goal by 2035. This will help. And I'm a big proponent of wind power, and I kind of just want to see one of these things. They look massive and they look creepy. I kind of want to see what one of these in perfect. One of these in person. Sorry.
Honestly, if you took a flight, you'd probably fly over a whole bunch of them. Probably pretty cool to see them from the air. But yeah, I'm all for this. I like diversification of like basically our power infrastructure and all that. So I think it's a great idea. And I feel like people just unnecessarily malign stuff like this just because it's not like, oh, it's against oil. We need to be relying on oil for some reason. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Like, oh, if we get rid of oil, it's going to kill jobs. But they're saying this would create like 44,000 jobs and then 33,000 jobs at communities to support the wind turbines once they're up and running. So, like, they create jobs. It's not like you just get rid of it and no one's doing the work on these new energy sources.
Do the people who work for like the wind turbine companies, do they all wear those little propeller hats?
They have to. That's the uniform.
I think they should charge up their phones that way, hook them up to their hat, and
people that do like solar panel companies have to wear like the sandwich boards that are like a big panel. You get their
That's
energy.
A little bit much. That's outlandish. My idea was legit. Like that's an act. You could see a whole group of people wearing those little beanie hats with the propeller on top.
Yeah, little kids, Mike.
Now you're just getting outlandish with your sandwich boards. But
I like my idea better.
Oh, now that's the Twitter poll of the week. Would you rather wear a beanie with a propeller on top, or wear a sandwich board that's a solar panel?
I'm wearing a solar panel.
I know you are. But as a sophisticated man, I am wearing my propeller on the top of my head.
We know there's no sophisticated man on this podcast.
Well, thanks for listening to the Future Jam this week. We might call this one the Sleepy Jam because we're both beat from working so much this week. But you can find us on Twitter at the Future Jam, Facebook at the Future Jam, Instagram at the Future Jam. That's still a thing. Call us at 513-BOT-COLA.
Yeah, get that area code in.
Yeah, don't forget about that area code. You know, it's important. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, have a good Easter and Passover, everybody.